Hello, everyone, and welcome to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the review of the action comedy film Novocaine, which stars Jack Quaid. This film follows Nathan Kane, who is a bank employee with the ability, or the inability, I should say, to feel pain, who goes out to rescue his co-worker after she is taken hostage by a group of bank robbers. This film, I was somewhat looking forward to. It wasn't like a movie that I was gonna beat down the doors of my local theater to go see, but if the opportunity arose, I was willing to go check it out, and the opportunity did arise. This film, as I said, stars Jake Quaid, who you may know is the son of Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan, and he is somewhat on a roll now, along with Novocaine coming out just a few weeks ago. He was in Companion, which I enjoyed as well. But you may commonly know him from The Boys, which is the superhero series that's on Prime Video. But this is his first starring role, his first big theatrical film that he is the lead of. So it was a lot of hype behind that. I wanted to see, can he be a quote unquote leading man like his father is, still is to this day in some sorts. Uh, for better or worse, I should say, but definitely in the 80s and 90s, huge Dennis Quaid fan, as well as Jack. I thoroughly enjoy his work on The Boys. I like him in pretty much everything he pops up in. He was in one of the Scream sequels a couple of years back. I thought he was pretty good in that. Like I said before, I liked him in Companion, and let's see how this goes with this starring role, lead role in this film. I think he did an excellent job. I think I'm not gonna say he's our next action hero. This isn't that type of film. This film was just suited for him. He was born to play this role. If that makes any sense. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody was looking for Novocaine to just blow the roof off of the box office. I mean, it was what it was. But for an average guy, put in this extraordinary position, he was just perfect for this role, and he's what carries this film. I mean, the film centers around him going on this adventure, if you will, to find his girlfriend who was kidnapped in this bank robbery. Very good. I actually liked going on this ride with him. Now, this film does not reinvent the wheel in no shape, form, or fashion. There's nothing really innovative about this movie other than the fact that our lead character, Jake Quaid, who plays this character, has the inability to feel pain. That's the selling point of this movie. Him going through all of this stuff, having to get into fights, shootouts, and car accidents and whatnot without feeling any pain. There was even a scene in here where he was being tortured, and the torturer was applying pain to him, and he can't feel it. And so he has to put on the act like he is. It is. I enjoyed that. That was really funny. The only downside to that, they spoiled all that in the trailer, and so I knew that was coming, and the joke really didn't land because we seen it in the trailer, and that's no fault of the movie. It's the marketing, and it seems to be a plague lately with these films that's coming out. They just spoil everything in trailers. You used to get it every now and then. You used to get it in certain movies. They'll kind of show too much. Now it feels like every movie, every trailer, they show too much. And once you get to the film and watch the film, you know exactly what's going to happen. You know exactly what the plot twist is, the reveal is, the double cross is, because you've seen it in the trailer. And it's so frustrating. I will say this, the trailer doesn't reveal the twist. because this movie does have a twist, but you kind of knew it was coming. You know, at least I did. I knew it was coming 10 minutes into the movie. I was like, okay, I know what this is. I know exactly where we're going. But even with that, even knowing that early on, I still enjoyed the ride. And the film doesn't really, you know, disrespect the audience, dumb down the audience with holding it to the end. We knew. Now, the lead character didn't know, but we knew. The film tells you this, the start of the second act. So I'll say about 30 to 45 minutes into the movie, they told you what was going on. But our lead character who we are following, he didn't know. And that was a good way to go into this, knowing this, and he's still traveling down this road without knowing the twist and just waiting for the ball to drop. I thought that was pretty good. This film is directed by Dan Burke and Robert Olson, two directors that I knew not. I don't know their previous work. They have directed films in the past, but I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them, so I wasn't familiar with their work here. But I thought this was a pretty decent movie. It was pretty low budget, by Hollywood standards. I think this movie was made for under $20 million, which is pretty much an independent film these days. But for what the budget was, I thought it looked good. I thought the pace of it was fairly well. Not all the jokes landed. I felt it could have been a little funnier, but overall, it was still an enjoyable watch. I did like the supporting characters. You had Amber Mid-Thunder in this film. You may know her from Prey, that Predator prequel that came out on Hulu a couple of years back. It's good to see her pop up in something else, because I've been waiting to see her pop up in something ever since Prey, because she showed that she is a capable actress of holding down a film. She held that movie down by herself, a Predator movie, by herself. And probably one of the best Predator movies they ever made. And that's including the original with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers and all of those beefy men that was in that film. Amber Mid-Thunder did an excellent job in Prey. And so I was waiting to see her pop up in something else of this caliber, a theatrical release. And finally I get to see it in this film. She didn't have much to do in this movie, but I did enjoy her when she was on screen. I really believed her character. She was fun to watch. She has some really good moments, especially the chemistry between her and Jack Quaid in this film, I thought was excellent. Our main villain here, Ray Nicholson, who portrays the villain here, really sees shades of his father. Yes, this is a real legacy film. Ray Nicholson is the son of Jack Nicholson. And so we it was good to see him kind of get manic, and you can see shades of his father peek out of him when he was in his little crazy state. But that being said, his character wasn't really developed well. He was kind of mustache twirly villain. He's just bad. He's just a bad guy. We don't get any backstory to his character at all. Jacob Batalon, who you may know from the Spider-Man films as Ned, he's in this movie, not very much, but he's in this film kind of useless, and I like Jacob. I like him in the Spider-Man films. I wish there was something else for him. Instead of being the sidekick, he was the sidekick in all the Spider-Man movies. And I want to see a little more from him, instead of this sidekick role. Yes, he plays it well, obviously, but for this film, he really wasn't needed, and that's no knock on him. I'm just saying, as far as the character is concerned, it wasn't really needed. But I understand they had to give Jack Quaid's character somebody to rely on. As I hinted on a little while ago, at least at the beginning of this review, this is not the greatest of films. This isn't a film that you would run to go see. Honestly, this is more of a streaming movie. You can catch if this was on Netflix, if it had premiered on Netflix or Prime or any of the other services, it would have been just fine. And it felt like that. Unfortunately, it just felt like a on demand movie. This isn't a theatrical film that warrants you going out rushing to the theater to go see. But at the end of the day, it is enjoyable, but I think you would enjoy it better just sitting at home watching it than or going to the theater to go see it. It just didn't feel theatrical. It just didn't have that pop for me. Even though I liked it. I liked the movie. Didn't love it, but I liked the movie. Overall, I would say the best thing about this film, Jack Quaid's performance, I thought was fairly funny. He did a really good job of playing this guy that can't feel pain, so he really couldn't show emotion when he was going through this stuff, really emote pain when he was going through it. And I thought he did an excellent job with that. And with the development of his character, you really felt it. You felt the development of his character. They did a good job with him. Unfortunately, they didn't do a good job with nobody else in this film. They had two police detectives in this movie that were just there for the sake of we need police involved in this bank robbery thing. But other than that, they weren't needed. All of the other supporting roles wasn't needed, aside from Jake Quaid and the bank robbers and Amber Mid-Thunder's character. Other than that, nobody else in this movie was needed at all. They set up one character in the beginning that was I wasn't gonna say a friend of Jake Quaid's character, but somebody that he helped out. And then later on, he goes to this character again. And it was all just to set up that he had to go to this guy. But he didn't have to go to this guy. It was like, okay, well, he needs to go somewhere and kind of recover from his injuries. So, we did have a scene with this guy earlier in the movie. Let's go revisit that. That's what it felt like. It just felt like, let's throw this guy back in the mix. Other than that, it was no need for that character. But yeah, the characters were underdeveloped. The action was decent, it didn't blow your socks off. It was just basic little fight scenes and a couple of shootouts. Other than that, there was really no action in it. But the comedy, I wanted more comedy, and we didn't really get it. Pretty much all the jokes were in the trailer. Aside from that, there really wasn't nothing new to kind of laugh at here. I did get a couple of giggles throughout the film. I'm not going to say it wasn't funny at all. There was some giggles throughout, but nothing that was like slap my knee and hold my stomach gut busting laughing. But at the end of the day, it was enjoyable. It's worth a watch. Novocaine gets a letter grade of a C+. Yeah, it's decent. It's a decent movie. It's not going to offend you in any way. It's not going to, you're not going to feel cheapened by going to see it. Like you wasted money. I don't feel like I'm wasting money. I don't feel like this was something I could have waited to see, but it wouldn't have hurt to have waited to see it. I'll put it that way. But I did enjoy it overall. I would like to know, did you check out Novocaine? Did you enjoy it? Or are you like feeling like I'm feeling? You probably can wait till it drops on one of these services and just check it out there, or on demand and rent it at home. I understand. I would love to know your thoughts. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, the KB Radio Network channel, that is, and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this review of Novocaine. Want you all to know that I love you, continue to love everyone, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.